very grateful that you made your
Absolutely.
point. That is all for this week. I just want to say before we go that very sadly last week we lost a well-loved... Oh my gosh, I'm going to go as well. One of Question Time's longest-serving producers, Ali Fuller. She'd worked on this programme for something like 27 years, and she was responsible for recruiting audiences like you. And we reckon she spoke to something like well over, I think, 100,000 audience members in that time. It was a very short and sudden illness, and we were all shocked by her death, and we miss her very much. So, I just want to say, send my love to Ali's family. And also, in terms of the programme tonight, thank you all so much for coming and putting your points. I wish we could have gone on for longer. Thank you, of course, to the panel, and thank you to you at home for watching. From Question Time, bye-bye.
Ukraine is just about holding the front here, while the Russians have launched this fresh assault.
Everywhere you look, there are uprooted trees, there are bits of building, and the destruction is just in every direction.
Incendiary drones were dropped here. We know this was the military junta because the rebels don't have that kind of weaponry.
While you can hear the tear gas canisters being lobbed at the protesters.
There when the story breaks. BBC News. Follow on the app.
Disinformation.
There is no climate.
You think you're winning.
The pandemic wasn't real.
Fooling people in the most sophisticated ways.
The Met Police. Social media posts.
You fueled hate and confusion. And you make our job seem almost impossible.
Fake news.
Almost. You see, it's because of you we get up in the morning and work through the night, all over the world. The more you try to drown out reality, the harder we'll work to verify the facts. We will find your sleights of hand and expose them. So no matter how hard it gets, we'll never give up. We'll be watching. We'll be ready. It's the pursuit of truth that gives us our calling.
The fight for truth is on.
At 10, no healing of tensions between the US and Ukraine as Donald Trump's top diplomat to Kyiv visits President Zelensky. A planned news conference with the two men was cancelled as the White House says the Ukrainian leader needs to tone down his criticism of President Trump. Our man in Russia gauges the mood outside Moscow 3 years after the country went to war, and he gets a nasty shock.
So the police told me that they got a telephone call just now from someone saying there are suspicious people going around town with a camera, meaning us.
3 buses have exploded near Tel Aviv in what police say is a suspected terror attack. There are no reported injuries. Earlier, thousands of Israelis lined the streets in silence after the handover by Hamas of the bodies of 4 hostages. Spain's former football chief Luis Rubiales is found guilty of sexually assaulting a woman player by kissing her without her consent at the World Cup. And what now for 007 as Amazon takes over the James Bond franchise?
And stay with us here on BBC News for continuing coverage and analysis from our team of correspondents in the UK and around the world.
Hello there. Relations between the US and Ukraine, once rock solid in the face of Russian aggression, now seem to be deteriorating hour by hour. A planned joint press conference between President Zelensky and Donald Trump's top diplomat to Kyiv was cancelled today, despite the two men holding talks. The Ukrainian leader later said the discussions were productive and Ukraine was grateful for US support. But it's clear a level of distrust is building between Washington and Kyiv. We'll be gauging the mood in Russia and keeping an eye on political reaction here. But first, James Waterhouse has our top story from Ukraine.